Find your center. Come to center. You must be ruthless with yourself. Must be in tune, can't be out of tune. Find the center of your spine, your shoulders, your hips. Find the center of your cells. Find the center of your breath. Find the center of your mind. Center, there's no movement. Also, there's no knowing. We'll chant Om together one time to begin. Inhale deeply. Inhale deeply. Hold your breath. And when you need to, gently release. But keep your eyes up. Eyes closed, look up. This is stimulating different parts of the brain, the good parts. We can think our way to peace. You can think your way to peace. You can think your way to love. You can think your way to happiness. Because you are love. You are happiness. You are peace. And so it's a tuning. When you're in tune, automatically, you become at home, grounded, stable. But if you're out of tune, then no matter what you do, it doesn't work. So, the conclusion is very simple. Start each morning, take time, tune yourself, tune your instrument, your body, heart, and mind. Then you'll be very clear, it's very clear. To be in tune. To be in tune, it's not an achievement, it's the foundation. So the practice is simply for achieving this state of in-tuneness, like a habit of being in tune. This is how the yoga influences daily life. It's not about doing a downward dog in the middle of the office or on the street. It's because of this deep level of at-homeness, in-tuneness in your breath and your nervous system that allows you to be present in the daily life situation. So, thinking. So, we've been continually thinking and thinking all day, all morning, all night, all afternoon, all day. But that state of being myself does not come through thinking. So we must cultivate no mind, this state of no mind. This is the state where creativity is born, where inspiration, where the intuition flourishes. And this is the state of freedom. Mind is the state of bondage. Whatever we think about ourselves is not myself. What my story about myself is not myself. My story is one little tiny speck of a fragment of a few aspects of my life. But that's not myself. My idea of myself is not myself. Myself is infinite. And so, shift from thinking to awareness. Thinking is in the past, always pulling us away from the moment. But awareness is that deep presence, like a sports player in the game. Thinking is distraction. If you're thinking, it's a distraction. But when you're in the flow state, when you're in that state of awareness, then it's hypersensitive. And so this is why we recommend training. We must train ruthlessly initially, because we have a long habit of being disconnected, out of tune, and ignoring ourselves. And so initially we must be ruthless in applying reminding ourselves. Otherwise we keep spinning out. But eventually, like in any sport, if you train the proper habits, then that will take over. And so we just establish that habit of presence as the baseline, as the foundation. And every day, just a little training, a little testing. The practice is just for testing, is training. It's not for achieving something. We don't need to get into anything more complicated or to do anything, any feats or anything, to do any kind of advanced something. The advanced yoga is to be yourself. This is most advanced yoga, is to breathe naturally. Not when you're on the mat, but in your daily life, in your interactions with your friends, with your enemies, with your loved ones. No, the real yoga is this state of wholeness. The state of yoga doesn't mean there's no sadness, no anger, no happiness, but it comes and goes. Like the rain comes and goes, like that, without identification. So, clean your body, heart, and mind. We've been mostly on the superficial level. We've been on the superficial level, putting lots of attention into our clothing, into our face, into our hair, our teeth, everything, our skin. But this is for sure, no question. This is not a judgment, but this is the surface. This is the superficial level. And so if we can put even a little bit, even a fraction of that attention, love, care, energy, time into the deep level, the heart, the mind, the soul, then it's at this level that life is blossoming. Life is blossoming, life is growing at the deep level, not on the surface level. And so then the life will express itself uniquely through you in whatever way is needed, without so much effort of having to figure everything out all the time. This we call the natural way. What that means is the plant, a big tree, actually a tree has so many different phases of life. The seed, seedling, sapling, baby tree, so many, and at each stage of life, very different experience for each stage of life. And inside the seed, invisible, is the perfect intelligence which will guide that plant, in every stage. At every stage, that perfect intelligence and power, that infinite power, is expressing itself through the plant perfectly. And so the same infinite intelligence and power is within the seed that produced us. And so we too, even our biology is a product of that infinite intelligence and power. And it's still that, it's only that infinite intelligence and power that's beating your heart, that's moving your blood, that's digesting your food. It's not me. I'm not the one that's doing any of these things. So this path means we nourish and nurture that natural aliveness, and then we can surrender. The life will reveal itself. But if we always have our attention somewhere in the future and just like, then we're going to miss all the beauty that's around us now, for sure. If we're looking the other way, then we can never appreciate the magic of here and now. And so let's start. We can start with the magic of here and now. Then, if the goal happens to be over there, for sure we'll catch it because we're here. When you're here, then you'll catch it. But if you're always over there, your mind is over there in the past or future, then you're going to miss it. And so it makes sense we should start with here and now. Also, if the goal were then and there, someone would have made it by now, right? For sure. There would be a way to get there. Someone would know there would be a path. But it seems it's even less likely than winning the lottery. Successful. Successful means not just with money and position, everything, but that feeling of being at home within yourself and being able to live that within relationship to family and the livelihood and the place, our life, everything. So we want to achieve this at homeness, and it can't be after retirement. It can't be like that we finally be at home within ourselves. So, no matter how we look at it, it has to be now. Because otherwise it's another story. So, the practice is to simply by being in tune, life will take care of itself. This is it. Our only requirement is to be in tune. And then everything will go on. The cells will be born and they'll die. Everything will go on naturally. But this state of no mind is so important because the continual thinking puts continual pressure. We're under such tight pressure at the cellular level too, this contraction, the ego, control. I have a goal, so I want that, and the things that are not aligned with my goal, I don't want. It creates very strong attachment, very strong likes and dislikes, wants and not wanting. Not that we shouldn't have goals. This is a technique, this is also a motivation strategy. But to live in the future, to live in some fantasy about the future or the past, this is trouble. And every idea we have about the future is a fantasy. All of them, everyone. None of them are real. None of them exist. Each one of us has our own fantasies about the future. None of them intersect. Even the people you're living with, your idea of the future, it doesn't even intersect. It never even meets. We have our complete own world that we've constructed about the future, and we freak ourselves out about it all the time. And so, if we can reduce the amount of digging up the past or playing with the possibilities of the future, then we can redirect, recenter ourselves to be in a state of presence. It's not like, oh, now I'm going to do more things and I'm going to accomplish this and do that and go here and, but simply to be at home in yourself. Like when you put on fresh clothes and it feels very nice. You want to feel that at homeness in your body, heart, and mind. In your body, we wear clothes to cover our bodies, but generally we don't feel comfortable in our bodies. We have so many complaints about the way our body looks. It's not even the experience of our body. It's the reflection of how others will approve or disapprove of us based on what we think that they think about us in our body. So it's not even real. We're not at home in our bodies. We must become completely at home. That's why it's nice to do oil massage, oil bathing. You get some oil, sesame oil, coconut oil, medicated oil, and you can rub on your body. After the shower, you rub on your body, and then you can just let it dry. It's really good for the nervous system too, especially certain body types. Vata type definitely needs oil. We can't think our way. It's not by fixing a certain problem. This thing happened and now I have to think this or do that. No. If it were possible, then for sure there'd be a way. So it's at the level of vibration. You have to tune the subtle pressure and vibration in your spine, and then that's reflected in your physical body, but also in these more subtle layers. And so just keep coming back to center. Focus on your breathing. The breath is always here and now. Big pile of questions. Let's see. How could you find the purpose as human being in this world if you feel alone, that you have not found that yet? What is the purpose of life? We have to approach from a few different angles. But for sure, my life purpose is not like one thing that I'm going to do in the future that people remember me for. My life purpose is every moment is my purpose. Every moment I'm living my life purpose. Each interaction is my life purpose. Everything I hear is my life. Everything I do is my life. Everything is the purpose. It's not one thing. Who is my soulmate? Everyone you meet is one of your soulmates. We have different connections. Sometimes a connection of a few minutes can be more impactful than one of many years. Everyone is your soulmate, and every moment is your life's purpose. Because actually, you don't have a life. This is the trip. I don't have a life. Who is this I that has a life? Life has a me. Life has a me. So I'm fulfilling the purpose of life. It's not like my life, what am I going to do? Nothing is mine. So I don't have a life. Life has a me, and I am the purpose of life. So by being myself, then I'm fulfilling the purpose of life. By not being myself, I don't even know what that is. Imagine any of these. Imagine the bananas trees or the mango trees or the grass not being itself. Any of the different creatures in existence. Or any of your cells. Imagine your cells being confused about, it's impossible. So we want a good story. My purpose, and some grandiose thing. Live every moment like your purpose, with that same depth, with that same love and passion, everything. This is the way. Otherwise, we're always looking for something and never find it. oh, maybe this is my purpose. Oh, maybe that. I don't know. I think maybe this. And just, for sure, there's no question. Your purpose is every moment. Getting in touch with someone who is just mentally and physically using and abusing, and after redesign getting dense and feeling how that happened. I hate myself for that. Okay. So until we have established that central axis of the source, life, and light, energy, whatever that is, then we're going to be looking for it from others, from outside. And based on different karmic patterns from this lifetime and previous lifetimes and how we were raised and different things, then we're going to get wrapped up in different shit. And that's just how it goes. But it's not worth wasting any energy with that. What we need is simply to establish the center, the roots, within that state of presence, and then everything will realign itself within that. No? Once we can get that nourishment, and we're not, still we want approval of others, these things, whatever. But beneath the surface is this core of deep at-homeness within yourself. And then, especially these more destructive patterns will be much less. And getting caught in those loops. But it's all useful. Everything that happens in our life is perfect. We must extract the essence from that. We must extract the lesson and not get too attached. Like every food, even the bad food, then you know that's a bad food, I don't want that food anymore. You know? You can't get too much attached to any of your meals. You eat the food and you forget about it. What did you eat 3 weeks ago? What did you eat 2 years, 5 months, and 2 days ago? No, for breakfast, right? No idea. You forget it. So in the same way, life experience, you have to forget it. Otherwise, imagine if you always remembered the meal that you ate, and you can never forget it. You'll never appreciate anything that you do. You'll never appreciate what you're eating now. You only can remember that best meal, and it was so good, and nothing else compares to that. Or you remember the worst meal. Same thing, right? The same thing. Always projecting that. And so what we need is to be quiet. To be quiet, to be in tune, and then life, because it's like now, like it's if you play sport, then it's game time. It takes a lot. For game time, you have all the teams are there, all the players, everybody, the referees, it's just a whole ordeal. And then they blow the whistle, and then the game starts. That's game time. So when is game time in daily life? When is the game time? Game time is all the time. 24/7 game time. So tune your body, heart, and mind, and then see if it makes a difference. It makes sense, for sure. If we hold the hammer properly, right, then we're going to be able to use it better. So if we can hold ourselves properly, our organs, our cells, our brain, our senses, right, instead of all this tension and pressure and all these, then if there's a way that we could establish a deeper, more stable flow in your nervous system, in your heart. You eat food, you have to digest the food. Then whatever is waste, it gets removed. Whatever is the essence, then it becomes you. So the same with the life experience. We have to digest all the life experience immediately. Otherwise, we get constipation, indigestion. Then most of the food you eat is waste. Most of it is waste. In the same way, most of the life experience is also waste. It's fodder to be digested immediately. Because if not, what happens is, I'll tell you exactly what it is. You've seen the TV shows about the hoarders, people that never throw anything out. They're living in like piles of trash and different things. So if we don't have proper digestion, then our hearts, our minds is just like that. It's like a hoarder's place with all the negative, especially the negative things, everything, just piles of trash everywhere in our mind. Mine is full of trash. Our hearts are full of trash. And so, how often should we take out the trash? At least once a day, right? Once a day sounds good. If it's very dirty, maybe we need to do more often. Initially, to grow a garden, really the garden grows itself. It's not me. It's not I'm growing a garden. The garden's growing itself. But the initial phases require more effort on my part. I have to prepare the soil. I have to remove the stones. I have to get good nutrients. I have to get it going. Once it's going, it goes by itself. In the same way, initially, in this process of tuning, connection, it will require more effort. Like when you learn a new language, at first it requires more effort. But people put a lot of effort into different things, for example, golfing. And you only golf a few hours a week. So you're playing yourself 24 hours a day. So any small improvement in the depth of connection, aliveness within yourself is going to benefit you every moment of every day for your whole life in unimaginable ways. And so 100% we must master the breath, master the spine, learn to balance the pressure. So it's like when the subtle pressure is balanced, instead of breathing in and out your nose, it's like the breath is flowing through the pool filter. You know how it just kind of goes in and out of the pool filter? So this is the inner breathing. So when everything becomes very steady, then instead of a very gross level breathing, it's like this, like just water flowing in and out the pool filter, going inside and outside, but it's like it's only happening inside. These concentrated moments of being yourself, and to be yourself means without thinking about yourself, who am I, without trying to explain yourself or anything. Then this will allow you to, throughout the day, to be more at peace, more alive, more aligned. You know, if every morning we take this time to fill ourselves with the breath, with light, all the cells, the organs, the nervous system, the blood, all these levels, the heart, the mind, all this. If we wash it, if we like turn on all the lights, if we activate everything, then this will give us the power, the strength to be ourselves throughout the day. And then again, at the end of the day, like taking a shower. You take a shower in the morning and you feel awake. After a long day, again you take a shower and you feel like released. So this is the same. It's like taking a shower, but it's taking a shower with the essence of life. And see, right, for sure, if you have clean clothes, if all your clothes are dirty, and every day you just have to wear other dirty clothes, you don't feel really at peace at home. No, but if you have clean clothes, you put on the clean clothes. And so the same way, maybe the problem is not particular thought or situation or anything, it's just our minds are dirty. Our heart is dirty. We have to clean. Our body also. Body is not just the surface of your skin. Body means your cells, your organs, your glands, your blood, your biochemistry, everything. Question. How can you come back into the practice when you are so lost in the routine and the rush day by day? What would be the best way? You have to make it part of the day by day. You program it into the day by day, where it's inalienable, unquestionable, like taking a shower, like brushing your teeth. No, you know, how much time did you need? Start with something reasonable, like 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. Right? This is the recommendation for lay people. For people living a householder life, people who are working, family life, etc. 32%, 30 minutes is enough. But for anyone who wants to seriously pursue the path of awakening or become a teacher of anything, whatever, 20%, 5 hours. 5 hours is recommendation. And that's a structured, fixed daily practice. Not just like, oh, what do I feel like? Oh, maybe I'll do a little this, a little that. It's got to be, if it's like training for the sports training for the army, something. We can't just like do a little this and that whenever we feel like it and hope it's going to work. And so it's, once it becomes anchored in the daily routine, then it will do itself. There's no, first thing in the morning is the best. Before eating, before talking, before going online, take time to clean your body, heart, and mind, to awaken, to tune. So first thing, take a shower, cold shower, hot shower, and then boom, you can go straight into your practice. It's important to have a space, like a sacred space, where you can have a mat or a cushion or a small altar with some things like crystals or feathers or statues, like flowers you can put. A place to gather your energy, right? A place where, because when we go to that place, when you put on your sports uniform, you go into sports mode. Right? So when you go to this place, then it triggers all those, that subtle memory, right? Which is different than yoga pants. Yoga pants for the yoga studio. This is about performance, competition, and focus on others, practice for others. So I can prove what I can do. Look, I'm good at yoga, right? This idea of being good at yoga or bad at yoga based on the physical capacity also is ridiculous. It's complete misunderstanding. So to be at home in yourself is to be good at yoga. To keep the practice simple, recommendation is simple practice. So for example, if I have 30 minutes, my practice is I'll have, say, 12 to 14 minutes of asana, 6 minutes of pranayama, and another 10, 15 minutes of meditation, like that, 35 minutes. In my 14 minutes of asana, I thought, okay, I'm doing the sun salutation. Okay, then let's say 2 minutes sun salutation, or 3 minutes with the stillness. Then I have sitting, like, say I'm just doing 5 postures. So I do that, then I come and I do sitting forward bend, 1 minute, and then 1 minute of integration. Bridge, 1 minute of integration. So that's a 3 minutes, and now I'm at 5, 7. And then inversion, maybe I do 1, 2 minutes. And then integration, that's 10 minutes. And then I do the twist, one side, 1 minute, one side, 1 minute, another minute integration, 2 minutes integration, that's 14 minutes. And I do the same ones in the same order for the same length of time, gradually increasing the time. Then pranayama. Okay, so I do breath of fire for 1 minute. And strongly recommended use a timer. Put the timer 1 minute and then begin. For the postures and for the breathing. It will hold you accountable. Otherwise, it's a free-for-all. And then you can gradually increase the timing. So breath of fire, 1 minute integration. Alternate nostril breathing, 1 minute integration. Spinal breathing. And then boom, into meditation or chanting meditation. So I have 10 minutes, 14 minutes, I put on the timer, and then just leave it off to the side. And whatever comes, let it come. Whatever goes, let it go. Like that. It must be precise. Otherwise, if it's just a good intention, like, oh, yoga's good for me, I should do some yoga. I'm going to do yoga later or something. Right? It's impossible. It's impossible to gain the momentum necessary to shift the patterns. And so that's why I recommend a fixed practice like this. Use a timer. And then do it. 100 days challenge. This is a challenge. We're challenging you 100 days after you go to keep the daily practice. So say that you can only do 15 minutes. So then you make your practice for 15 minutes. And then some days you have extra time. Those days you do extra. You can always do extra, but you can never do less. So in 15 minutes, you can do, maybe you do the spinal sequence and you do the spinal sequence in about 7 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, then breathing another 3 minutes, and then stillness another 5 minutes. You make a recipe and then you repeat again and again and again and again and again and again. This is a way to maintain the practice. Also, you must understand why. Why the practice? If we understand the value, right, we do a lot of things that are unpleasant because it has importance, it has value. So why the practice? It's not practicing to be good at yoga. Right? The practice itself is an act of love. This is to love myself, to give myself the space and time to fill my cells with prana, with good breath, to awaken my spine, to be myself without knowing what that is. This is act of love. And so the practice itself is love. The practice itself is a nourishment, is like a meal. Like you eat food. You have to eat. You eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. But when you eat the food, then you digest it. Most is waste, it's going. Then some of it, hopefully we can absorb it and assimilate it. But then it's just like a raw material in our body. So we need to activate that. So this practice is activating those raw materials and like a whole higher functioning of the biology and nervous system and all these things. And so it's a refined type of meal. It's a meal. It's a meal in itself. It's not just like a yoga hobby on the side or something like that. It's not, because it's not about yoga, right? The practice itself is simply to unlock the potential and aliveness within you at every level, in your body, your heart, your mind. We have so many treasures. We have so much power, infinite power. Every atom has an atom bomb. So in me is the full infinite power of the universe is within you, inside of every atom. Do you think relationships can be the cause of a dharma disconnect, anxiety? If so, how do we stay connected to our dharma? On the surface level, there's a disconnection. On the deep level, even the difficult relationship is the dharma. Even to confront that, even to get knocked down by a relationship is part of the dharma, on the deep level. On the surface level, anything can disconnect us from that tuning. That's why we must establish the state of being in tune no matter what, despite anything. Even in Auschwitz, to be in tune. Wherever you are, in every moment to be in tune. Because life is going to be a series of challenges. 100%. 100%. Everything we see will go. Everyone we know, everything we have, we'll get sick, we'll get old, everyone's going to die. And that's beautiful, and that's natural. But we can't give our power to anyone else. We must take our power. We must establish the central axis in your spine and nervous system. And then to live from that place, and that's the Dharma. These other things, the challenges are bringing us into that alignment with the Dharma. So there's only the Dharma anyway. But the more we can be consciously participate in the thing, then it just, again, it's quantum, like exponential. How to stay rooted, believing what around is Maya, illusion, impermanent, especially in an urban society. First, one must be rooted no matter what. No matter what. There can't be any condition to that which it affects anything. There's no condition. With no conditions, one is rooted and grounded. That's the foundation of life. And so it's a kind of depth in your breath. Whatever we believe is false. What we think is Maya is also false. There's no Maya. Everything is pure consciousness. This is matter. The matter is pure consciousness. But everything is impermanent. This is true. Impermanent. Maya, false means impermanent. But impermanent doesn't mean not real. And so we have to work with everything. Everything, there's extreme beauty everywhere. At the microcosmic level, at the level of the molecules, it's extremely beautiful. Also in the nature, in our biology, wherever we go. And so, when we're in tune, to be in tune with oneself means to be in tune with the universe, because it's one. So when we're in tune, then whatever we're doing will be the right thing to do. I don't even need to know the specifics of what it is. Even if it's something that seems bad, it's the right thing. Because then life is expressing, is working through you. So first, come in tune. Then we have to reconsider all our questions from the point of view of being in tune. Now we're trying to understand from being out of tune, what about this and this and this and that? Right? Not possible to understand. If it were, someone would have understood by now, right? For sure, for sure. So many books in all the libraries, so many courses, so much blah, blah, blah. But still no one has any idea. So, can't be known. So, the key is just to be it, to live it, to express it without knowing what it is. The same way the banana it's being itself without knowing what that means. It's giving birth to the bananas without knowing what that is. Really, the most of our mental exercise of knowing is superficial, and it's only useful for organizing things. But now we're drowning in our own system, organizational system, categories and everything. So, the sports players are, through repetitive training, not through repetitive thinking, not overthinking, but through repetitive training and drills and practice, again and again and again and again and again and again, the same ones. Then in the game, it's automatic. There's no thinking. So we must become like that. This is the state of gracefulness. Then our every action becomes an act of beauty, of joy, of creativity. No, each moment we have the potential to infuse that with love, with wisdom, with beauty, wherever we are, whatever we're doing. In the relationship with our children, with our family, wherever we are, it doesn't even matter. We don't even think. The sun never thinks, oh, who am I shining on? Which countries should I shine on? In the same way, that presence expresses itself fully to everyone and everything without discrimination. So more and more, we simply need to come in contact with that core aliveness by tuning. Keep tuning, but don't get obsessed with the process of tuning. Now everyone's obsessed with their yoga. My yoga is this, my yoga is that. Right? So you tune, but keep it a secret. This is also important. Right? Ideally, you do your practice, but keep it a secret. Like a ninja. You don't share, nobody has to know. Nobody knows you do meditation, yoga, everything. You don't need to obsess, you simply do and then forget about it. And then again, the next day you do and then forget about it. Otherwise, we create a whole other identity. It's a whole other trap. Spiritual trap, the better trap. They call golden chains. We have iron chains or golden chains. Question: how to let go of control and perfectionism? Yeah. You let go of control and perfectionism by holding on to presence, ease, grounding, rooted. This is always the case. We don't focus on what we don't want. We're all the time focused on what we don't want. We must what do I want in my life? What is the attitude? What is the mode? So by directing my attention to that state of awareness and being grounded, then gradually that other shit falls away by itself. The perfectionism is we have an idea of how we're supposed to be in the future, something. Right? But what is perfect is to be yourself moment to moment without knowing what that is. We can't even know what that is. Every expectation, every idea of what it should be is going to be like a torture. It's going to be like a thorn in your side. The control. So this is why they say the spiritual path is path of surrender. They call the path of the baby monkey and the path of the baby cat. The baby monkey is holding on to its mother's belly, and so it needs to maintain its grip while the mom is jumping, running through the jungle and the forest. If it lets go, then it will fall and die. This is the path of effort. And then we have the baby cat who's carried by its mother on the nape of the neck. So it has to relax and trust, surrender. And so we have to balance both of these paths. The sadhana, the daily practice, the daily tuning practice. Really, it's not a practice, it's a tuning. It's a integration. It's a... yeah, the word's not right. But if you do for 100 days, in a regular way, for sure you'll know if there's a benefit in your daily life. How do you know if the practice is benefiting? Not because you become really, really, really good at it, right? But because when you're not practicing, you feel more alive. You feel more connected with your truth, with your power. You make better decisions. You sleep better. You feel more at ease, more relaxed. This is the sign that the practice is working. We must pay attention to our daily lives. We should not obsess about the practice. This is a misalignment. Because why? What good? We want to... we have to uproot from our mind, from our strategy, this idea of needing to prove something. To act and do something because I want to prove something to myself or to anyone. This is a terrible strain on that pure essence of the heart. And then we act in irrational ways, not out of touch with the dharma. So that's why we must, I saw this recently, we must see in us what we're trying to prove. What am I trying to prove? Who am I trying to prove to? And as much as we can uproot that, throw it all into the fire. Yoga is a fire, tapas. Meditation is a fire. Throw everything into the fire. I don't know what to do with it. Put it in the fire. The vibrations here are low. How would you take the energy and teachings here to integrate in a high energy life? So when you train for surfing, there are different types of waves. But when you know how to surf, you can surf any wave, any of the waves. You become flexible. This is the flexibility. It's not touching the toes. It means you can adapt to life. You can flow with life. Whatever wave's coming, you can surf that wave. Joyfully, gracefully, peacefully. That's why we do the training. That's why you don't train to swim in the ocean with a riptide. No, you train in a pool. So we train, you have that training space, training to be grounded, to be authentic, to be real. And then gradually that infuses and takes over. And the integration happens automatically. It's not like, oh, now I'm going to integrate. Like your digestion, you just need the space. Right now we're so much pressure with constant stimulation and responsibilities and everything moving very quickly. We don't have the time to properly digest our life experience, and it's been building up for years and years and years and years. And so the life will integrate. But you need to give this space. If possible, take some silent, every now and then have silent day, or silent few hours. Or lock away the phone, or go into nature, no phone. Take really long walks. Where no one walks, you just walk. Instead of driving or going, you just walk. What if your partner doesn't respect the boundaries you set? For many years, I lived in a contemplative community, in a intentional community, and many people think community is like some utopia, where it's like, wow, everyone's happy all the time, and everyone gets what they want, and it's like, oh, it's like, and there's a real idealization of community as a space where it's just like, it's peaceful, you know. But actually, it's the opposite. A community is a space where we can sit together and be in conflict, but have the language and the listening and communication to work through that in a constructive way. And that's actually the meat of the growth of the community. That it's not by avoiding conflict, or it's not by some idea that life is going to exist without conflict or without. And it doesn't even, conflict is a state of mind. You know? But So that is the heart of community. That's the meaning of community. And so a good community is where we can grow through that process of conflict. So a real partnership also then would be where we can grow through that. It's not the expectation that I've set the boundaries so it's already said it's done. No, so this is part of there's a follow-up. It's not enough. No, so there needs to be communication and understanding where the breakdown is, about around the boundaries, or how they're expressed, or the conflicting needs of others. It's a wonderful opportunity to have a meaningful, authentic process around something real. All the time we're talking about things that aren't real. No, some war somewhere else, something somewhere else. We're all the time focused on other people's problems, other people's lives, but we have no attention for our own life or for what's going on around us. And so this kind of conflict is good because then we have something to do. We have some meaning for relationship. Where do you think we go after we die? Where do you go when you fall asleep? Where do you go when you close your eyes and you're thinking of the ocean and you see the ocean? Where are you? Is the ocean? Is the ocean inside of your mind? Are you going outside somewhere? Where are we right now? Where am I right now? Which part of the body am I located? So I don't understand anything about now. Unlikely to understand anything about what happens after this life. Right? For sure, this isn't a one and done situation. There's, in essence, a spirit, something that's carried from birth to birth. And according to the tradition, this essence started from the most basic of all forms. So the gases, and then the minerals and microorganism. So every individualized soul, which is like a spark from the fire, right, then has to go through all of the different species of all of the kingdoms before attaining human birth. So the individualized spirit goes through all the different worms and the caterpillar and all the different everything. And then human birth. And then by the time we have some spiritual inclination, they say it's already been like 100,000 human births. 100,000 human births by that point. So we're not talking about like, oh, last life I was Cleopatra or something like this. But it's like, because it's not my life. Again, who is this me? It's not my life. This is just, I'm just one of the waves of existence. No, but this is, life has a me. I don't have a life. And so we have the gross body and then subtle body, causal body. The causal body is in the information stored on the computer is like exists in the ethers. In that same way, the most subtle body is like that. It's a so this is carried over from birth to birth. There's some great books in Brazil. There's a tradition called Espiritismo. It started in France, actually, Espiritismo, in the 1800s. But in Brazil, it was super developed. And there's incredible, the one guy, Chico Xavier, but many who are kind of mediums who are channeling the teachings of the spirits between the planes after death and what happens when the ones are still attached with a strong attachment and desire, and then the different places where different instruction and learning is going on. And so there's very detailed accounts which are quite interesting, also within the Palladian accounts as well. So we can, if that's something of strong interest, we can look into it. But for sure, the primary thing is what about now, right? How can I be more alive, more real, more authentic now? Question: can you have visions during meditation? What do they mean? Yes. Some people are more auditory, some people are more visual, some people are more kinesthetic. This influences our learning style, our communication style, our way of interpreting the world. And so in meditation, we have so many built up impressions from the world. And all that pressure is inside. So when I sit and close my eyes, it's like the same like the dreams. It's being worked out through the dreams. And so this buildup of pressure is then released during the meditation practice. And so that can cause visions. Some people will just see like a color, like blue color, pink color, or flashing lights, different things, or worlds, like dream sequence. Sometimes just color. So this is good. These are signs, that you're coming into tune, into alignment, but it's not necessary. You may have vision, you may not have the vision, it doesn't matter. If it comes, it's fine, but don't get attached, don't wait for it, don't expect it. And there's no meaning. We shouldn't, we wasting our time looking for some meaning in something, of this, meaning of this, meaning of that. We're built, it's this all these fantasies about the future and everything. So we need simply to be present. Otherwise, we're all the time trying to decipher, figure out. It's a side quest. It's like somewhere else. There's if it was clear, we would know by now. So it's not possible to know it. You have to be it. You can't know it. You can't know that. How do you deal with stress and burnout caused by your own business? Is that a personal question? Yeah, in a sense, this is my business. In a sense, it's like everyone's business, because for me, this is a way of life. This emerged spontaneously from this way of life. There was never any intention to do anything or ambition or anything. Now, of course, there's like a momentum, and I'm carrying a lot of weight. But the daily practice, the being in a beautiful place, having the playfulness, having wonderful food, getting massage regularly, sometimes daily. And then going to India to be with these great sages and Mahatmas and to do tapas. I do that regularly, a couple times a year. But it's not, probably the business side is not the heavier thing. It's more the energetics of guiding people in this journey home. It has to be part of the daily schedule. The self-care, the beauty, nature, creativity has to be programmed into the schedule. Otherwise, you get swept away. Massage, connection, nature has to be scheduled. Oh, wow. Okay. We're already past time, and there's a big pile of questions still. I don't know. What should I do? Lightning rounds? Yeah. Lightning round? I don't know. Okay. What's the secret to living in alignment? Listening. Listening. When you have a deep listening, then you can see in tune, out of tune, and then you learn how to relax and to come into tune. And so the listening is important. It's one thing to follow your heart and path, another to find a path with others, such as a spouse, partner, or child. What advice do you have to navigate this complexity? You have to be in tune. Be in tune with yourself, with life, and then approach from that point of view. Right? We have the collective wisdom of all the humans and all of evolution within us. Now, because of the modern way of life, we're disconnected from the wisdom of our like parents and the other generations. We're living all separate, and so when we have children, it's like a whole like black box. Like you don't know what it's like, what's going to happen. Whereas in traditional society, like in Cambodia, by the time you have a child, you've helped to intimately raise probably 5 or 6 children. You know, in detail, and there's no question of what to do or what you should do or what's going to happen next or anything. They're fully just like in line with that. And so we've cut that where we don't have the support and and everyone has to kind of fend for themselves and learn on their own and like go out. You know, before we would work with our parents too. It wasn't like, what am I going to be when I grow up? Maybe I should do this or that. Now we just go out into the wild and fend for ourselves, everything. So that makes it a little tricky because of that disconnect. But anyway, we have to be in tune. Be in tune and seek out community. Community, this is the key. When you're multi-passionate, how do you know which is the right occupation for you? No, everything is right. You have, this is why listening is so important. Tuning, listening. Then we see, because something is, we don't need to have as the occupation, but it can be part of our life. Nowadays, most people, their whole thinking about their life, at the center of life is what? Career. Is the career occupation, and then everything takes shape around that. You see? But maybe that's not correct. Maybe the career is not the appropriate lens with which we understand our life. And so so then it's fine. I can have all this. All this is part of my life. Everything is part of my life. What if you're starting your business and following your dream, and then other opportunities present themselves to you? Every moment we have infinite opportunity. So you simply have to be in tune and in a state of receptivity and listening. And then each moment you'll be guided by your inner compass. But we should never get fixed or stuck in one thing just because I said it or I had an idea. And as soon as I see beyond my previous understanding, I have to immediately get rid of all the ideas, and everything that's incongruous with that must be disregarded immediately. If we hang on to old things or old ways, after we've already understood, then it's impossible. So we must immediately update the whole understanding of the universe based on based on our experience. Question: how can you explain to someone that is a supreme energy when this person has never been in contact with that spirituality side? I mean, gosh, just a seed. You take a little seed. There's nothing spiritual about this supreme energy. You know, this infinite energy is in the seed, is in the plant, is in the fruit. It's and everything all around us. We can see it in everything, in the fire, in the heat in the body. It's everywhere and everything. And so it's not about a spiritual side. When you're living with a partner and you have 2 different energies in the morning, one is calm and quiet, the other is loud and active, how do you handle? Well, hopefully you have multiple rooms or an outside space or something like that, and you know, and you do each person. It's important to have your own life. We need our own life. We need our own rhythm. If we're always sacrificing, adapting to someone else's rhythm, then we're going to be resentful and we're not going to be ourselves. We're not going to be in our power. So we have to empower ourselves. We have to empower our partners and loved ones. Morning is quiet time. What would be the difference between soul and spirit in your human body? How can I understand these two? it's not worth getting lost in trying to distinguish intricacies of these kind of things. No, what's important is that we have a surface and an ego, and there's a deeper self. And so if we can be in touch with that deeper self and live from that place, that's all that's needed. Otherwise, what are we going to do? We're going to write a thesis about it? What do we need all this information for? We don't need any information. What we need is to be grounded, centered, present. So that's why I say that we're not going to teach you to touch your toes. We're going to teach you to touch your soul. How did you create the spinal series sequence? Not created. This has been around forever. The spine, the central channel, it's like by manipulating the spine, it comes into tune. This sequence is used in Kundalini Yoga by Yogi Bhajan. This sequence is used in Kriya Yoga. No, because there's only so many ways. There are only so many ways to brush your teeth. Like, how did you invent that way of brushing your teeth? No, you have a teeth, you have to brush them. You have a spine, you have to activate your spine. There's only so many ways to do it. It's this thing in the center. So nothing, you didn't invent anything. How can you reconnect with your roots to have that sense of belonging when you are so far from family and still you feel separate from energetic perspective, root chakra feel incomplete or imbalanced? Yeah, so that's why to be in tune, to be rooted, to be grounded, to be at home here and now, each moment. Because then when you're at home, then all of life is your family, right? Every place is your home. It's not like, oh, that's some country or some city somewhere or something. But as long as we think that it's far away, then it's always going to be far away. Right? So at home has to be here and now. At home is here and now. And how do we achieve that? By being in tune. When you're in tune, then you become very light. Your body feels light. Instead of like this heavy ball that you're dragging around, it becomes very light. Your heart also becomes very light. Mind becomes very light. Light, like not heavy. Also full of light, luminous. So we must create the conditions whereby we are in tune. Am I stuck? How can I know if I'm truly stuck and whether it's time for big change or say for smaller nudges towards change? Every moment we have infinite possibilities to evolve. And every moment is infinite. The I is always stuck. The ego is always stuck. So as long as we're identified with ego, we can be sure that we're stuck. This idea, I'm not enough, this isn't enough, I'm not good, I don't have enough, this whatever. All of that is ego, all of that is stuck. So when the energy is flowing, then you don't think about yourself. You simply are yourself without having to plan it like this. So the key is you tune every day and then listen. Listen. No, you have to be ready. Right? When the prophet came, some people dropped everything and went, and the gold rush, how early days of crypto. You have to be ready. You have to be ready. Some part is luck, part is grace. But when life comes calling, we have to immediately respond. And it's calling all day, every day. All day, every day, continuously. Last question. How to follow my path when I have very real responsibilities that I cannot neglect? Yeah, so following the path and life responsibilities are not at all in conflict. They are one and the same. No, this is another one of your responsibilities. To live in your truth, to awaken, to clean your body, heart, and mind. This is a responsibility also. So you have to schedule it. You have so many hours in a day, so many places, only so many things you can do. So depending on what you give importance to, then you make time for what? So we have to, what's important is that I clearly give value, know what I give value to. What do I put value? Where's my value? Is my value in presence, in being alive and being authentic? Right? This is health. Health is not just some sterile state where there's no disease or something. It's an abundance of aliveness and creativity and joy like this. And so, if we value that, then we, for sure, we'll put our energy into it. So that's the key, is that have a clear set of values that's not just about money and possessions and everything. And then that will infuse in your daily life. Enough talking. Take a moment, come back to center. Sit up tall. Open your shoulders. Close your eyes. Turn your eyeballs to look up. Inhale beautifully, smoothly. Inhaling, exhaling through your nose. Forget everything. Forget all the words. You must remember this feeling to be at home in yourself. Inhale deeply.